today we're going to be revising for our mocks once again, according to the timetable I made a few days ago. We're doing physics today because it's Friday. This is going to be my morning revision. It's very late already, but I was just watching TikTok. I'm gonna go get my watch. We have our sign here. Do not enter. There it is. Don't mind my PJs, guys. Bro. If you know, I use my watch to time myself. We're gonna revise physics for an hour. Let's get my revision resources out. Damn. What? Oh. This has all my past paper exams. Okay, this is my topic list. I'm just gonna do the past exam paper. I've done some of it. Let me start marking what I've done. I've done 4 pages. This doesn't have a marks. I don't have a marks for this. to revise for physics. I want to open the window. I'm gonna open the window, it's so hot. Oh my god. I'm just messaging my tutor for maths. I'm gonna use let's see, Cognito website to revise for some physics. Let's do I don't know what happened, but it paused. There's going to be a lot about energy, so I'm going to do some quizzes on energy. I'm going to do biofuels. Biofuels are mostly made from recently living organisms, right? Oh yeah, I forgot to turn my timer on for 1 hour. If you guys don't know how this works, it's basically I have a 1 hour timer and then I'm going to stop revising. But if I'm talking to you guys, then I'm going to pause the timer. So it's a 1 hour legit of revising. Okay. Biofuels are mostly made from recently living organisms such as plants. And algae, but they can also be formed from animal waste. This is contrast to fossil fuels. Plants and algae can trap the sun's What are the advantages of biofuels? Select all that apply. They can be used in cars. They can. They are renewable. I don't think they're renewable actually. They are easy to transport. They require a large area of land to grow. That would be a disadvantage. They are renewable. They're easy to transport. I'm gonna say they're renewable. Oh, they're easy to transport was one of them as well. What are the disadvantages? They're relatively cheap to make. They're renewable. They require a lot of energy to harvest, process and transport. They require a large area. I think the last two. What do we mean when we say that biofuels are carbon neutral? They absorb the same amount of carbon dioxide while growing as they release when they're burned. They don't produce carbon dioxide when we burn them. They absorb carbon dioxide as we burn them. I think it's the first one because it's the longest one. In theory, biofuels should be carbon neutral, but in reality they're not. Why is this? I'm not sure. It's 4 marks though, so... read the points. I'm not even sure. I'm gonna mark. Oh. In order to grow the biofuels, we often have to clear land. We often have to clear land by cutting down trees. This means trees can no longer photosynthesize and absorb CO2 themselves, and will also release large amounts of CO2 if burned. In addition, it usually requires a lot of energy to harvest, process and transport the biofuels, which itself will produce a lot of CO2. Oh yeah. Next topic. Hydroelectricity and tidal barrages. As water flows downhill from a mountain, a hydroelectric dam will trap the water in a man-made lake, which is also known as a electricity downstream turbines, reservoir or generator. I think it can't be electricity. Turbines, which is known as a downstream, doesn't sound right. Turbines, or I think it's generator. Or it could be a downstream. It's a reservoir. Then, wherever water is released through the dam, it spins turbines, which are connected to generators and so produce electricity. The water can then return to the river on the downstream side of the dam. Tidal barrages work in a similar way to hydroelectric dams. However, instead of damming water that's flowed down from upstream like a conventional dam, a tidal barrage allows water to flow into a bay or river during something tide and then releases the water during a something tide. Let's look up. Tides are used in a lot of ways to generate electricity. The most common method is building a tidal barrage. Tidal barrages are big dams built across river estuaries which turbines in them. As the tide comes in, it fills up the estuary. The water is then allowed out through the turbines at a controlled speed. Tides are produced by the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon. There is no pollution. The main problems are preventing free access by boats, spoiling the view and altering the habitats of the wildlife, e.g. wandering birds, sea creatures and beasties who live in the sun. Tides are pretty reliable in the sense that they happen twice a month without fail and always near to the predicted height. The only drawback is that the height of the tide is variable, so lower neap tides will provide significantly less energy than the bigger spring tides. Oh, is that what it was asking? They also don't work when the water level is the same either side of the barrage. This happens 4 times a day because of the tides. Initial costs are moderately high, but there are no fuel costs and minimal running costs. Even though it can only be used in some of the most suitable estuaries, tidal power has the potential for generating a significant amount of energy. That still doesn't answer the goddamn question. Tidal barrages work in a tidal barrage. The answer was during a high tide, during low tide. I got the low one because the answer was high. So. Energy transfer in a hydroelectric dam and tidal barrages. In both cases, the water on the highest side of the dam or barrage contains a lot of gravitational potential energy. Once the dam or barrage is opened, this energy is transferred to electrical energy. Oh, kinetic energy. As the water rushes on the lower stream side, as the water moves past turbines, some of its kinetic energy is transferred to the turbines, causing them to start spinning. Something can then use this energy to create electrical power. We still got 47 minutes. I'm already getting consumed. Oh, my back already hurts. Some of its kinetic energy is transferred to the turbines, causing them to start spinning. Something can then use generators. Which energy transfer takes place as water flows from the higher side of the hydroelectric dam or tidal barrage to the lower side? Chemical energy to kinetic energy. Oh, it's gravitational potential energy to kinetic energy. What are the advantages of hydroelectric dams? They're a source of renewable energy. And that one. Disadvantage. Wave power is renewable. Ooh, I got 12 out of 16. Circuits introduction. A power source for an electric circuit could be a cell or a battery. Oh, this represents a closed switch. Voltage is a measure of flow of current. What? Something is a measure of the flow of electrons around a circuit. Is that voltage? Or is that current? I don't know what happened. I paused the watch, so let me restart it. Let me continue. I think it's current. Current is a measure of the flow of electrons around the circuit, and no, I think it's voltage. Oh, it was current. I'm gonna do where is okay, waves. I'm gonna do radiation. How do X-rays, I'm gonna do flashcards now. How how do X-rays and gamma rays compare to other electromagnetic waves in terms of wavelength and frequency? I don't think I've known these things. I'm trying to find radiation. Radiation. Alpha, beta, and gamma radiation. There we go. What does an alpha particle consist of? An alpha particle consists of 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Yes, let's go. What is the charge of an alpha particle? Beta is -1. 4/2. Oh, don't mind this, please. That's just my butak. I think it's +1. 2 plus. I knew that. Yeah, I knew that. One of the names for an alpha particle is a helium thing. A helium nucleus. What symbol can we use to represent an alpha particle? It's like a half infinity sign. Never mind, it's an A. But the A looks like a half infinity sign. We know that. Is an alpha particle strongly, moderately, or weakly ionizing? Highly. Is an alpha particle strongly, moderately, or weakly penetrating? It's very weak. It could be stopped by 5 centimeters of air or a single sheet of paper. A beta particle has -1 electron. Wait, I didn't even get to see it. Bro. I didn't even get to see it. Oh, I flipped the answer. Yeah. What symbol can we use to represent beta? It's like a Y. It's a B.
जैस हरमन कहंदा जैसमिन पता है काला जिहा नाइफ है ते कट्टने वाला किथे है
Is a beta particle strongly, moderately? It's moderately. Gamma radiation is a high energy electron. do the same. I want to do like silent revision. So I'm gonna use plastic sandpaper. I don't know what direct potential difference, but let me see on here. I'm gonna go on page 24. And just look it up. After my exams, I want to watch I need to watch all of the other Spider-Man movies. Anyway. Oh, I remember ACs and DCs. Let's watch this.
Hi and welcome back to freesciencelessons.co.uk. By the end of this video, you should be able to you should then be able to describe how we can measure potential difference, and finally you should be able to describe potential difference in series circuits. So far we've had a good look at electric current, and you should remember that electric current is simply a flow of electrons around the circuit.
No.
So in this circuit, the electrons move out of the cell, later move through the wire, pass through the lamp, and then return back to the cell. Now the lamp lights up, and that's because the electrons are giving the lamp energy. So let's take a look at the energy transfers involved. The cell has a store of chemical energy. This is transferred to electrical energy. That's coming by electrons passing out of the cell. When the electrons pass through the components, such as the lamp,
I'm gonna it's not hot anymore.
the electrical energy is then transferred to other forms of energy. In the case of the lamp, this is light energy and thermal energy. So energy is transferred in electrical circuits. We can explain this using the idea of potential difference. This is also called potential difference of 1 volt tells us that 1 joule of energy is transferred for each coulomb of charge that's moving through the
What,
circuit.
bitch?
We passing a particular. Now the lamp lights up, and that's because the electrons are giving the lamp energy. So let's take a look at the energy transfers involved. The cell has a store of chemical energy. This is transferred to electrical energy, and that's carried by the electrons passing out of the cell. When the electrons pass through the components, such as the lamp, the electrical energy is then transferred to other forms of energy. In the case of a lamp, this is light energy and thermal energy. So energy is transferred in electrical circuits. We can explain this using the idea of potential difference. This is also called voltage, and you can use either expression in the exams.
Bitch, I don't know what he just said.
Potential is also so in this circuit, the electrons move out of the cell, make their way through the wire, pass through the lamp, and then return back to the cell. Now the lamp lights up, and that's because the electrons are giving the lamp energy. So let's take a look at the energy transfers involved. The cell has a store of chemical energy.
Yep.
This is transferred to electrical energy, and that's carried by the electrons passing out of the cell. When the electrons pass through the components, such as the lamp, the electrical energy is then transferred to other forms of energy.
Like
In
heat.
the case of a lamp, this is light energy and thermal energy.
Yes.
So energy is transferred in electrical circuits. We can explain this using the idea of potential difference. This is also called voltage, and you can use either expression in the exams. A potential difference of 1 volt tells us that 1 joule of energy is transferred for each coulomb of charge that's moving through the circuit.
What? Potential difference is 1 volt is equal to 1 joule of energy.
We measure potential difference using a voltmeter. I'm showing the symbol for a voltmeter here, and it's important that you learn this. So here's a simple electric circuit, and I'm going to measure the potential difference of the cell using a voltmeter. To do that, I place the voltmeter across the cell like
In a
this.
parallel.
In this case, the voltmeter is giving us a reading of 9 volts. This is telling us that the electrons are transferring 9 joules of energy per coulomb of charge. Now, we can also use a voltmeter to measure the potential difference across the lamp, and I'm doing that here. The potential difference across the lamp is also 9 volts. So can you see that all of the electrical energy carried by the electric current is transferred to light energy and thermal energy in the lamp? Okay, so I hope you're getting the idea that potential difference is actually fairly straightforward. It simply tells us how energy is transferred in an electrical circuit. Okay, this shows a circuit with 2 lamps in series. We're going to explore the potential difference in
Wait,
circuits
this
like
is the wrong thing. Oh my god, this is potential difference. We're asking ChatGPT. Move, bitch. We have 30 minutes left. Hurry up. In GCSE physics, direct potential difference or direct voltage refers to a constant voltage that does not change direction. It always pushes electrical charge in the same direction through a circuit. Here's a simple breakdown. Direct potential difference comes from a DC power supply like a battery. Voltage stays constant over time, causes current to flow in one direction only, and is measured in volts. If you connect a 1.5 volts battery to a circuit and the direct potential difference across the components in 1.5 volts pushing the current is in a simple steady direction. On a graph, a direct potential difference is shown as a horizontal line. Voltage does not change over time, whereas an alternating potential difference AC would go up and down, changing directions. Damn. I'm not putting this on my laptop. It stained my things last time. Do it. So a constant voltage. This doesn't work. Guys, I don't have lice. I'm just like, I have a habit of itching my head. Constant voltage. A constant voltage does not change direction. Next, calculate the charge flow through the 12-volt battery. So charge is I. No, that's current. Charge is Q. Through a 12-volt battery with joules of energy. That's energy is E. 12 volts. Yeah, potential difference is V. Eat very quietly equals V times Q. So it says that it has 510 and 12, and then you need to find Q. So you're going to divide it by 12. So Q equals, where's my calculator? 510 divided by 12. 417. Ice forms on the windscreen at a temperature of 0 degrees. The electrical current, so we've got temperature, wait, I don't know how temperature. The electrical circuit transfer 510 joules of energy to the ice, a mass of calculate the specific latent heat of fusion of water. Okay, so it's probably E equals ml because like email, so E equals So E is 510. 5,010 equals. We need that. Do we need it in grams? No, I think it's kilograms. Holy shit. Next. No. A remote village in the UK uses a hydroelectric generator to provide electricity. In one day, 2,500,000 kilogram of water, so that's mass, passes through the hydroelectric generator. This change in gravitational potential energy of the water is 367.5. So energy, we need to change this. Gravitational field strength. Calculate the mean change in vertical height. What am I missing? I'm missing a physics equation sheet. Move. So I'm gonna find the one. It's 4 marks, so it's one equation, and you get 1 mark for the changing the units. So can I just yeah, it's this one. E equals mgh. So E is the gravitational potential energy, and we need to change that first. So that's a big number. That would have been. We want it in joules, so that's mega. So that's megajoules times 1,000,000. Did you guys see me lacking there? I'm so sorry. Three, 6, 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Zeros. Equals to m, which is 2,500,000. Gravitational field strength is 1.8 times by height. And A equals GH. We want to find H, so it's going to be 3, 6, 7, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros over 2,500,000 times by 9.8. And we're going to divide them, and we're going to get our vertical height. And I get 15. Yep. Yep. 5 marks. This generator transfers 3.0 kilowatts. First entirely like that. Calculate the time. Energy. P equals ET. Like pet. Sorry. I feel like I would have sneezed. Then why is it 5 marks? Oh, you get 1 mark for standard form. Okay. That's easy marks there. So we need to convert that. I've converted it before, I don't know, let me check that all. Times by 1,000. Good to go. I'll take that myself. I don't really remember. Is it P equals ET? Yeah, it's P equals E over T. Pet. P equals E over T. So 3,000 equals 2.16 times 10 to the power of 7 over time, which should be in seconds. Yep. So the equation probably is P equals ET. Oh my god, I cannot sit like this anymore. I need to leave. I swear my back is hurting a lot now. Holy crap. Its solar power system is installed in the remote village in addition to guys, I don't know this one. Some isotopes emit nuclear radiation. Guys, why are all my pens running out? Carbon 12. We have 5 minutes left. Instead of doing question 5. Oh no, I can't even use ChatGPT. Because you guys are on my head. This guy was wearing the exact same flipping clothes yesterday. You know what, let's do some more questions. I'm gonna do this question, let's see. Years of discovery. This is a good one to do. Since we only have 4 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Scientists developed new models of the atom as new particles were discovered. Draw one line from each particle to the year it was discovered. Electron, neutron, nucleus, and proton. So I'm swearing that it starts P, E, N. Or was it E, P, N? It was one of those. And the nucleus. It was, I know that nucleus, I know neutrons were discovered. I think electrons were discovered first. So we have 1897, so that is number 1. So first, this one's second, third, and fourth. I have a feeling that neutrons were discovered last. So, but nucleus, there would have been no nucleus if there's no neutrons. So I think nucleus was discovered last. Neutrons were discovered third. And then it's either electrons and protons. I think electrons were discovered first. And then it was protons. And since we have some time, let's have ChatGPT. Okay. Okay. electron, proton, neutron, and nucleus. We got that right. Oh, 1 hour ends now. But let's just mark it because what? So electrons in 1897. Tick. Protons 1917. There's no 1917. There's no 1917. It's saying nucleus 1911, but I put that for protons. I'm giving him the ones that I've been given. Okay, nucleus 1911, protons 1920, neutrons 1932. Tick emoji if correct. Electron 18. Okay. I thought I was confident, but so it's basically electron, nucleus, proton, neutron. Just E. P. E. Oh wow, I would have gotten no marks because it's 2 marks. I'm really annoyed. Okay, that is really annoying. Okay, revision session has officially ended. Okay, so can we talk about my health now, please? Right, so my health right now, my back hurts. I want to just lay down. My back really hurts. Can't quite like move it, if that makes sense. Really tired. So yeah, I'm really tired. I don't know how I would have done 2 hours because what? Anyway, later on I'm going to be doing chem. So see you guys then. Bye bye guys. see you guys next revision chest session.